Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fourth season of Tucker and Toddcast.
Yep, season 4 premiere tonight.
And our theme for this season is that it's going to be all bizarro world. It's all going to be Twilight Zone kind of stuff. And so they're going to be little. I don't know if there's not going to be a rule for whether they're going to be like capsule episodes or not, but there's going to be a lot more freedom of whether things have continuity or not.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be playing around with that Black Mirror stuff.
Yeah, because at the end of last season, if you're new to the Tucker and Toddcast, I don't know why anybody would start on season 4, episode 1, but there's a
But
rule.
welcome,
Thing. They say every episode is somebody's first, right? So,
dude. Who says that?
podcasting people.
Sounds like shit.
That's about pretty pithy. The word pithy. You know how the white fluff inside of an orange is called pith?
Yes, I hate
Are
that
they
stuff.
related? they
I don't know, but I hate that stuff.
They seem kind of related. It's not exactly an onomatopoeia, but you know how some words have a feeling? The word
Yeah,
pithy, the types of things that the word pithy describes kind of feel like pith.
they kind of feel like that kind of white stringy shit that really just wastes your time when you're trying to eat an orange.
It is. It's just time wasting shit. You could eat it,
I could, but it
but you
it
sit
has
there
no
fucking with it.
if it were to be described to have a taste, it would be unflavored.
It gets in your fingernails. It stings.
Yeah, it has a strong orange smell, but it's got no orange flavor, so it's fool's gold.
It's real
It's
pithy. It's
pith.
full orange.
Yeah, it's pithy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a little slow on the draw tonight. I am tired.
Okay, well that's okay. We
Yeah, it's
we are
gonna be a bit of a slow start.
we're floating in a void. We can be a little bit ethereal.
So yeah, we are floating around in the space between spaces, as it would have been said in Indiana Jones 4.
I really don't remember much of that one. I remember what's his name's hair. Can't even remember his
There
name.
was there was somebody in that movie that had hair.
Shia the Beef.
Sh- All I can think about is that song now.
What is that song? Are you gonna send me a link? When there's silence,
I
link comes.
suppose I suppose I could send you a link. It
Do
would
I
be a
should I
lot
know it?
it would be a lot better than me trying to sing it with like two working brain cells and no memory of it anymore.
Is it about Shia?
Yeah, it is.
Is it the thing where there's like a stage, like a theater performance, and then it turns around and he's in the audience clapping?
Yes.
Okay, I think I know what that is, but I don't have to
It's
like it.
Shia LaBeouf by Rob Cantor. Sheila Beef,
Okay.
Sheila LaBeouf. I don't remember how they pronounce it in that particular song, which is the only way I care to have it pronounced.
Anyhow, we are floating in a void. So the way that I imagined it is I see Craig as being like he is a narrator, so he's like a Rod Serling character, and I pictured every episode starting with like him saying "Imagine if you will." I don't know if that would play itself out quickly, but I imagine this episode starting with an "Imagine if you will," and then your idea was that it would begin with Craig's reawakening in his new body.
Yes, because if you recall, and for anybody tuning in for their first episode, Craig's body was actually dismantled in its entirety last episode. He was strip searched all the way down to the nuts and bolts.
I do remember that, and we were able to remove his USB soul.
Yeah, turns out that you can keep a soul in a USB.
And so I don't know if in that episode, I know that we said that we would be giving him a new body. I don't know if we described what it was. Is he separated? Did somebody else give him a new body? Is he with us, or is he on his own somewhere else in the void?
He is with the remainder of the crew. Stan had him in his pouch, and
Right.
Stan was being carried by Straight Woman, and Straight Woman was following right after Plato. So they have probably formed a survivor band. They're doing their Walking Dead thing where they're just like living on the move,
For
trying
when you
trying. Yeah, they're trying to get away from the expanding event horizon around that volcano.
when you said Survivor Band, all I could think of was the Eye of the Tiger. Is there any way to work that in? I guess Survivor Band is too loose of a reference.
Well, there's definitely a way to work it in because you can just let's assume that they're driving around in a van in the back of the van, they've got their little command center going on. It's almost like a police standard surveillance van with like all kinds of technology and stuff in the back, because why not? And that's where Craig is being reassembled. And on the radio, as they're driving around, Eye of the Tiger's playing.
Okay, I like that. Just kind of yeah, with
Yeah,
the hard compression on it, so it sounds like it's going on the radio.
yeah, it's kind of a little bit faint. It's got that compression. It's in the background. Um,
Has
in
like
fact, as the episode begins, it can actually be like really clear, and then it kind of fades to being high compression and going into the background as the scene opens up, and it's now clear that we're inside of a van.
does it start with like like a I don't know 5 days later or 1 week later or something like that? Has it taken time for them to acquire the parts to reassemble him with, or
Oh
if they've
yeah,
acquired a van and they're
it's
somewhere else?
probably been 28 days later.
Okay,
Because why not start there
why
with
not?
this is supposed to be a kind of apocalyptic bit of a thing.
Sure, and but I mean, also when we flash to whatever time point Tucker and Todd are in, it can be 28 days before. It's the moment immediately after the veil was flipped up or whatever.
Oh yeah, when we go back to the boys, it has to be just as soon as they were jettisoned into this different dimension.
Okay, cool. I like this. Is it? I is I am. I mean, I'm imagining the A Team van.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking about. Because it's our little band of survivors. They're on the move. They're living on the run because I mean it's like every conspiracy theorist on the internet actually believes that society will just start totally breaking down, even though it I think history has demonstrated that it won't. It's just kind of become gonna just become like weaponized levels of inconvenient.
Yeah,
But yeah, society's breaking down. It's no longer safe to live in a single place, so they're on the move all the time. So they're probably in like Fallout looking survivor gear.
I was another comparison I was trying to think of with like a look and a van style was the Rowdy Three, and now I'm just browsing rhymes.
I like the Rowdy Three,
Me too.
especially the part where they're psychic vampires. I want to find a way to fit that in because that would be some perfect outside sort of stuff.
Well, I mean, the first one that kind of comes up with is the Pouty Three, who could be psychic vampires of like they could be mood vampires. They just bring the mood down everywhere they go. They don't have Tucker and Todd, so they're forlorn. They're the Pouty Three.
Is Pouty strong enough, or do they have to be whiny?
They could be the Cloudy Three, and they literally have black rain clouds everywhere they go.
I actually like that a lot.
The
And
Cloudy Three.
then they'll bring the mood down even if they're not being like low energy and Eeyore.
Yeah. And how many of them are there? It's Straight Woman, it's Craig,
Straight
it's
Woman,
Plato,
Stan, Plato, and they're putting the last finishing touches on Craig.
which makes four, which is kind of the joke of the Rowdy Three. There was more than three of them.
Yeah, there were four, in fact.
Okay, the Cloudy Three is perfect.
So, do we have any ideas for Craig's new design?
Should we finally bring in the toaster that we originally mentioned?
Oh, I think that ship has sailed. I think now Craig needs to be on treads.
Oh, he's leveling up
Yeah, I think he should be like a
like a
little
Wally.
yeah, yeah, a lot like Wally. In fact, that's pretty much exactly what I'm thinking about. He's like a little tank man with a computer monitor and like a crappy little grasping arm. I think he only needs one, and it probably comes right out of like a little opening uppy thing in his chest. Go
In
gadget, whatever appendage I need.
Okay, I'm excited about the Craig thing a little bit. I do want to explore a little bit of Craig, invest some time into Craig, the character creation screen. In the transfer of the soul, does he have is he going to have a new voice, or is he still British English Brian?
Oh, his voice is definitely going to be. Actually, it just occurred to me it might be funny if when he boots up, he has the wrong voice and he disagrees with it. He's like, "No, no, that won't do. Revert back to factory."
Okay, okay.
So he has the wrong one. It's like a French woman.
Are we
Probably sounds a bit Annabelle. He's like, ugh, ugh. Probably scares everybody in the van because she's terrifying.
Oh, that's kind of funny. If it is actually the voice of somebody that we know to be like a villain and everybody screams because they think for a brief second it hasn't worked and he's been possessed.
Blackbush, the Dread Pirate, is in Craig. That would be crazy. So yeah, the as usual, the correct answer is both. Craig
Right.
starts with the wrong voice and he needs to adjust it back.
Does he have a new personality?
No, it's same soul.
And are we calling him anything different? Is he Craig too, or is he just Craig, or something new? Since he's not.
Maybe he has like a piece of tape or like something drawn on him with a Sharpie and it says
Oh, I know.
Craig. It says Craig, but it says 2.0 after that.
No, it says Craig E. It's the Craig dash E. It's like Wally.
Oh, yeah. But he it's still Craig. His memories are all correctly contained.
Somebody calls him Craig E at first, and he's like, "Do not call me that." And they're like, "It says it right on you." He cuts you off. He says, "Do not call me that."
Yeah, no.
Okay, we won't.
Only my mother calls me Craig E.
Wait, how do you? Okay, moving on.
There's also uh the option that certain capabilities of his new body are not yet unlocked. He's kind of loading his firmware into it,
Ooh,
and
you
and
just gave
like
me a cool idea.
certain memories maybe aren't quite available yet, so he's not all the way online. It takes some time. Tell me
I,
tell
I
me
like
about your idea.
I like that because that also potentially. Oh, this is now story stuff that I'm getting into, but story stuff can be weaved in. This now gives us a possible reason to go to the planet or the place, whatever the place, where the Craig software was like designed or came from. Like he needs to go to the manufacturer to get a manufacturer upgrade
Oh, yeah, a
to
firmware
get
upgrade.
patched. Yeah,
Yeah, he would need a firmware upgrade.
yeah,
That would enable him to use more of his new body's systems.
yeah. You need to get a
That's
root kit.
no, that's great. That's an objective. These, after all, the people that are still left in material reality are the ones who are goal oriented.
Right.
It's Tucker and Todd who have no objectives. Their life goal seems to be to avoid responsibilities.
I
So
kinda like the
these,
B plot.
yeah, so this crew having an objective besides just being on the move and kind of surviving, which, I mean, surviving is the kind of overarching theme right now, but it's not a goal, it's an ongoing. That's just like making breakfast as part of the daily routine.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, Craig will come back online and he'll have his funny voice, so he'll have to fix that, and then he'll be like processing, loading, 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 97% error, firmware incompatibility. Then he'll like uh emergency safe mode boot, and he's like underpowered and a little bit slow.
Oh, I like that, the safe mode boot. His, face comes on and it's all in F old school F8 safe mode.
Yeah, and he's at like 480p.
Yeah, you boot in DOS or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, his face is not the final form face, but it's just like the old Compy 386 face.
Yeah.
It's just like green blinking.
Does his body parts have any utility? If he has does he have, like, a little fridge in his belly or something like that?
See, I was figuring that his little opening hatch in his chest or belly, where his go-go gadget, whatever appendage I happen to need at the time, comes from, could probably host a number of amenities like that. So every now and then, Stan is gonna like take a soda out of him.
Yeah, okay. I do like that it's more of a go-go gadget hatch.
Yeah, because this time they actually assembled him with, you know, parts instead of just stuck the USB stick into whatever they happened to have right next to him at the time. So they actually worked to build him a body this time.
It would we could do it we could combine 2 things. We could say that as they were constructing him, they or maybe they put the bunny suit into him for safekeeping. They were gonna use it as a bunny suit storage, but the bunny suit got absorbed into his, like, structure, and now his hatch serves as a plot contrivance production device.
Oh, so in a way it takes it away from Tucker and Todd in the form of the bunny suit, but
Yeah,
it's now incorporated into Craig. I like that.
Or but I mean, that also reduces the actual utility of it, because I can't remember. We were trying to most of the time have it be something that it wasn't quite what you needed. Do we want Craig to be what we need when we need him, or no?
Well, I think the running joke will still be like it's always a monkey paw wish in a way.
Right.
Like it does, it works, but never quite the way you want it to. It's the raw essence of chaos still, because that the bunny suit is definitely connected to the outside.
Right.
But I think if we contain it to Craig, that just gives Craig more reason to be involved in stuff, gives us more reason to bring him along, and punishes us or at least restricts us when he's not along,
Yeah.
which I
And that
think is good.
and that could be introduced in a single conversation of like, get we need grab me the bunny suit. Well, there's news. There's good news and there's bad news, sort of thing. We don't have the bunny suit anymore, but now also Craig is sort of the bunny suit.
Yeah, we had to use the bunny suit to repair Craig. How? How? How does that make? You know what? I guess it doesn't make sense. I guess it makes about as much sense as the bunny suit does. Fine.
Or perhaps, I mean, for the sake, I don't know. I was gonna say perhaps Craig is just wearing it's part of his look now.
I think it would be a little bit more effective if it was in his hatch,
Yeah, I agree.
and it also somehow it always obeys Stan, since he's a product of the outside for sure. He can actually just reach into Craig and pull a soda out,
I
whatever
appreciate that.
whatever he wants.
Oh yeah, Stan gets what he wants, but we can never convince Stan to ask for what we need.
Yeah, no, Stan. It only works if Stan actually wants it, and he's incapable of wanting anything besides what he wants.
I like it. Okay, so these guys are in their van. Craig says that he needs a firmware upgrade. Do they decide right away? I guess then immediately that is the goal that they need to start working on. They head on their way.
Well, they're gonna have to look up where it is, check a map. They're gonna be like, "Oh, great, Craig. Why don't you tell us where it is?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, I don't have networking enabled."
Oh, first
Oh,
order of
you son
business.
of a bitch, Craig. Why can't you boot into safe mode with networking?
The safe mode is safe mode.
This is safe mode without networking. Excuse me while I reboot again. And then he's got like a really terrible display with a low poly count, and they're trying to Google Maps where this place is.
But the Google Maps is blurry. That's funny. Do we give them? Are we trying to give them multiple objectives? Do they need to stop and find someone who knows the whereabouts? Craig doesn't know like where they are. He knows what they're called or something like that. So we need to find a middleman, or he just needs to get there.
Well, he does need to get there, but I mean, society's on the verge of breaking down if it hasn't broken down already. Some places will be okay ish, some places will be completely run amok.
I
And
guess right
so
because there's these
the
rifts all everywhere.
yeah, like there's a widening event horizon in basically a perfect circle around the volcano, and there are like little blips that are kind of opening up at random nearby to that. And so crazy stuff is pouring through these little, most of the portals are temporary. The big one is permanent.
Oh, should they probably have an encounter with one of the things that comes out of these rips, like fairly early on, before we get back to Tucker and Todd? Like, how much story from their perspective should we tell before we switch?
Uh Actually, I think it's pretty important that we show the state of the world as it is, which means we need to have an encounter.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
But I mean, it doesn't have to be dangerous so much as it can be like dangerously weird. Like maybe a gargantuan flesh-eating monster isn't what comes out. Maybe like a sentient tire that really badly wants to attach itself to the van.
Ooh, interesting. Because yeah, I'm trying to think how to break away from it as they're saying, okay, as they're squinting at the pixelized Google Maps, or whatever we're calling it, the van suddenly screeches to a halt because something outside has like come into view.
Yeah, I have to assume that straight woman is driving because she don't need no man to drive. And either either the focus is in the back of the van and there's like a bump followed by a screech. Actually, there probably should be a bump. I think maybe something came out of nowhere and they hit it.
Or should it be a fairly normal introduction of what the thing is, and then as they stop, it becomes like bizarre, or should there be some like strange noise sound cue that introduces that this is a bizarre event?
Ooh, a sound cue. I love those. What kind of sound cue do you think would be appropriate for the introduction of outside stuff every now and then?
Well, see, like the first thing that pops into my mind is like a Godzilla kind of thing, like a blaring a klaxon.
I kind of like I kind of like the blaring klaxons, but they only make me think of Mass Effect now.
Oh, okay.
The Reaper sirens.
Yeah. I feel like we maybe should come up with something fairly original, and keeping in mind also that this will factor into, or actually maybe we should reverse engineer it from the idea that it is a sound effect that will be associated with the outside in the video game.
If it's gonna come up a lot, it shouldn't be something too annoying to listen to. So maybe a klaxon
Exactly.
isn't the right choice. Have you ever seen Star Trek Lower Decks?
No.
Okay, well there's somebody actually created a dog on it, and the dog is really mutagenic. It's weird. The dog is weird. Like it was
It's a
walking down,
polymorph.
yeah, it was walking down the hallway, and then it basically polymorphed into a cube, and it just kept rolling. Or another time, it opened its mouth up so that its upper jaw actually distended all the way back till its nose was touching the back of its neck, and it was just like a great big toothy maw, and a couple of bats flew out of it.
Would it be too stupid to make the sound effect? Because I like a cartoonish slide whistle. Ooh, I like that.
That's the kind of stuff that I expect to be coming out of those rifts, and also I think a little slide whistle would be funny.
Yeah, if because can you imagine a slide whistle as this thing's eyes roll back and bats fly out? Meow. I like that a lot.
That's what the raw essence of chaos looks like. It takes whatever form it feels like. Although the further away it gets from one of the rifts, the
Yeah.
less the less cohesive it becomes, and eventually it kind of flickers and fades away. So it needs to be close to some kind of source of outside energy or whatever.
That makes sense, yeah.
That also means that it's not possible for them to like totally take over the planet overnight. But as the event horizon from the volcano continues to extend, they can stay stable for longer periods of time closer to it, and more of those rifts start opening up at random.
Yeah, and would start to overlap and extend their coverage.
Yeah, like AT&T.
That's it, exactly like AT&T.
And I also expect that not only will weird stuff come out of the rift, but like exposure to the rifts will cause weird things to happen to stuff in our reality, like dogs turning into that thing.
Well, that yeah, I guess that sorry, I think I heard what you were saying. Not only do things come out of it, but it starts to affect reality around it.
Yeah, exactly. It almost terraforms stuff as it goes. I mean, it'll revert back once the rift closes, but while it's active, uh, it's basically like the film Annihilation, what it did to that grizzly bear.
Yeah, I mean, Annihilation. Have you watched The Expanse? It's like the proto molecule.
I have not watched The Expanse. I'm gonna binge it though, because I
It's
love that
it's
stuff.
it's good.
That's what everybody says, and I'm gonna be all over it. I'm gonna probably watch the entire thing in a week.
And for me, it's been reading my mind. I had a moment where I was looking at it going, you're trying to make me care about this character. You're putting it in situations, I'm gonna be it. That's a non-spoiler, huh? See, you want me to care about this character. And then like 2 episodes after I was starting to get frustrated, they actually created a scenario which had me going, oh my God, I care about this character.
I like it when they manage to make me care about stuff. It's
Even for a
hard.
moment. Yeah.
It's hard.
So that's my endorsement of The Expanse. Where were we?
It makes you care about stuff. That'll do. We were just discussing the nature of the rifts, and just kind of to get together a little bit of context because the crew is about to have an encounter.
Right.
A
So we
rift is opening up probably on the side of the highway or something.
yeah. And I'm trying to think of what it could be.
Well, first it causes a small tornado made out of green jello that splatters on the windshield.
And then does the green jello congeal into some sort of creature?
Maybe it just forms like the shape of a face on the windshield and then screams before dissolving.
Oh, yeah, I was imagining it was going to do something quite Adventure Timey. It was gonna like
Yeah,
chuckle in a baby's voice or something like that.
it screams like those goats.
Okay.
Ah!
While a Taylor Swift song plays in the background.
I mean, why
It's like
not? There are no rules.
poorly edited audio.
Oh, it changes the song playing on the radio.
Ooh, interesting. Before does the wind grab it and it flies away, or do they have an encounter with it? That's just it's purely that you said non-threatening.
Oh yeah, that's just what pops out of the rift as soon as it opens. But I think after the green jello tornado slaps into the windshield and then congeals into a face and screams, it should dissolve into a puff of green smoke and be gone. And then they should like while the while the windshield is covered, like just before it dissolves, they hit something.
Does it say something true depressing as it's dissolving, like you that makes you kind of have a moment of like, oh my god, that was a living thing with a family?
Oh, maybe it's like James Acaster, just like death comes for us all.
Yeah.
Because he that was one of his jokes about, yeah, icebreakers are all right, icebreakers are good, but what about at the end of the conversation when you want to reassemble that ice, put that ice back up, you need something to bring the energy back down. Say something depressing, death comes for us all. There's only so many tigers left in the wild. Something depressing.
Yeah. Don't let him take my children as it dies.
Yeah, it doesn't have any children. Its entire life, from its moment of conception and birth and then death, consisted of that rift. It
Oh, it
became
was
it
okay.
came into being in that instant, and then it was gone.
Oh,
But
do
it
we
but it'll say that it wasn't because it's a dick.
Oh, I was gonna say, it so we give it that, like, it's when maybe it goes through its entire lifetime, as it tumbles out of the rift, it has a tiny baby's voice, and then when it lands on the windscreen, it has a teenager's voice that says, "I am alive," or something like that, and then as it blows away, it dissolves and is like, "I am no longer."
I'm no more. The entire life cycle of just one green jello.
Yeah, it wished itself into being through the rift, and then it fizzled out into nothing.
Mayflies. And humans dare to think life is too short.
So it dissolves into nothing, or
Yeah, it
is it
it
a long
just
sequence? It's a long
well, no,
acid trip sequence.
it comes and goes really quickly. It's not the primary encounter. It's just there to cover the windshield and be a distraction long enough for the van to go off the road
Oh, okay. So
and
are
and
we
encounter something real.
does it go off the road? Because I'm trying to are we damaging the van, or does it go off the road and then it flies off a cliff and you think they're in danger, but then it lands on the new thing, which is a big soft thing, which is also it appears to be soft, but it's big and angry. Or it's just big and
Well, I was gonna give the van the Rowdy 3 van treatment, where like that thing gets beat up for the entire duration of the show, but it never stops running. It's always just fine. It's like the Halo Warthog.
oh, then does it actually go off a cliff and do some cartoony stuff?
I don't think it should, because I'm pretty sure Straight Woman is the only one wearing a seatbelt, so everybody inside is still going to be some kind of strawberry jelly. But I do
Mm.
kind of like the idea that it drives off into a ravine and lands on something soft, and then that soft thing turns out to be the tongue of a very large mouth.
Ooh,
And then guess what? We're inside of a whale.
a land whale?
Geppetto's in there somewhere.
Haven't we done this? Didn't we have an inside a whale thing?
Maybe. I don't remember. Did
I
we
think
meet
when we
anybody?
I can't remember if it was when we were doing the hero's journey. I think we might have done a inside the belly of the whale, inside the belly of the
Oh,
beast.
yeah, maybe. Maybe that guy's back.
Okay, that guy's back. Whoever it was, we'll look it up. See, the point
I
of
mean, it
doing
doesn't
this
have to be a
podcast is
whale.
to
It could be like a six-headed T-Rex.
oh yeah, it should be something. Oh, so is it something recognizable or is it something completely other?
Oh, it's Audrey.
That's fun.
Although I'm pretty sure she made an appearance. Or no, I guess she hasn't, but I keep pushing for
You
her in
bring
the
her up a
game.
lot.
I
Yeah.
keep pushing for her in the game. Might as well introduce Audrey 3.
Did you see the little bouncy mutant thing? I'm building up towards the flower looking thing.
I did see. Uh, I think this is an opportunity for the mutagenic effects to have turned like, I don't know what kind of plant Audrey would actually have been.
So it
She's
lands
she's
on
got
the
a big tulip bulb for a head.
yeah, I don't know. The it lands on the tongue of Audrey. Is the van too heavy for the tongue? And so she tries to say, "Feed me," but the van is on the tongue.
I think it should be a tongue with like little sensitive hairs. It's just like holding its mouth open in the hopes that something will fly by and land on it. And then once it tickles one of those sensitive hairs, the mouth starts closing. But it should definitely say "Feed me, Seymour" as the mouth closes. And then, of course, there's the slow cartoon. The shade starts closing in on the van. Suddenly, it's not so sunny in Philadelphia.
The shade?
Yeah, as the mouth closes around
Oh, I
the
get it. I get it.
van, you get two planes of darkness that start closing in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And of course it'll close, but then while the mouth is closed, you hear like a muffled engine rev, and they're gonna vroom, drive right out.
Like, do they burst through the side of its cheek or whatever, or they just drive out of his mouth?
It basically forces Audrey's lips apart. Just it won't damage Audrey or anything. I don't really think that Audrey has actual muscles, so it shouldn't be too hard to drive a van out of that thing's mouth.
And is this how we learn a little bit of the rules? They drive away from it, and as it chases them, it fades as it gets further away from the where it came from.
Oh yeah, I like that. It's rooted,
Yeah,
but as they start driving away, it pulls its own roots out, and then it just starts running on them.
yeah.
It kind of mutates on the spot, so that it's got like root feet, and it just starts moving towards them. And as it gets further away from the rift, or the rift, like flickers and closes, either or, and then yeah, it'll just like revert back to what it was, just be like a crappy little flower.
I guess it could be like visually represented as literally some sort of like lightning cracks out from the rift, and I don't know.
Oh,
You can tell
like a little arc of electrical energy of some kind, like shoots out and connects with a flower and then causes it to rapidly grow.
kind of, but I mean, like as it reaches its like end of its tether, you see the tether like visible for a second as the other thing winks out of existence, just to show that they're like
Oh,
connected to each other. They like show the causation.
yeah. So once it gets to the end of the line becomes visible.
Or does like a hand reach out and grab it and suck it back? I don't know. That's too much.
Well, I think that the plant should be a native earth plant that gets turned crazy. So
Oh,
it'll kind of flicker with the rift and revert back to its normal flower self.
oh, okay, that makes sense.
Either it goes back in the ground and it's just planted again, or it falls down and it's been uprooted and
It
that's it.
just slumps over. Yeah, I get it.
But there's also, as the rift closes, it's an opportunity to show other things around it that were starting to warp and get all weird go back to normal. So it's only when under the influence of one of the rifts that this stuff is happening.
You said as the rift closes, though, did something cause it to start closing?
Well, no, they're temporary.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
They the closer they are to the big one, the longer they last, the more stable they are. But they're now that there's a great big outside portal on the planet, these little rifts are starting to show up everywhere at random for a little while.
Okay, so there's not a mission because yeah, you had said we're not gonna have to like fight to close them, but there's no ability to even try to. They open and they close it whenever they want.
Yeah, it's just like at the whims of the universe. The only way to really stop them would be to plug the big hole.
And I guess the only mitigation you can do is like deal with whatever it like affects around it. If things come out that are bad, you can kill them. If it makes things around it that are bad, you can kill those. But you just have to like endure whatever it's causing around it until it's gone.
Yeah, it's pretty much on a timer, and it's pretty random how long it lasts, but they never last for very long, and the influence around them is not very wide.
Sure.
So a lot of the time, they might not be dangerous at all. It might just be like a temporary nuisance. Just imagine one opening up in the middle of like a an office building, turns all the cubicles into an orange Julius.
They're like solar flares.
Yeah, it's just like a little disruption for a while,
Okay.
depending on how severe it is.
So they
Just
get away from that thing.
yep, they get away, but it and the rift closes. They manage to get back onto the highway. So that was the opportunity to show the rift, what it does, how it operates, and what happens around it.
So they say, okay, we need to get to those we need to get that firmware upgrade.
Yeah, we're gonna need Craig.
And is that enough of their plot to now cut away to Tucker and Todd? That is a fairly decent like introductory chunk.
Okay, I think I've got a bookend for that little chunk.
Okay.
So at first, when it's brought up that they should go on this little adventure just to get Craig some firmware upgrade, I think Plato should be skeptical and be like, I don't think we have time for that. I don't think that should be a priority. And then the rift stuff happens, and then
Ah,
straight woman
okay,
flat
it is
out
a priority.
states, yeah, straight woman flat out states, we're gonna need Craig. And
Yeah.
he's like, show me that map.
Yeah.
And then that's an opportunity to close the scene right there.
He's no longer skeptical.
Yeah, now they're on board and they're about to get moving in that direction.
Yeah, I like that a little bit. Hand me that map. Why? What happened? I thought you didn't want to go. I changed my mind.
Because this situation is not ideal.
Yeah.
Plato. Okay, so that they're I guess Stan changes the radio station back to play another upbeat song, and the van will just start cruising down the highway again, and that's an opportunity to close that scene out and open up into the outside.
Is it another Survivor? Is the Survivor song from the Karate Kid, which I can't remember the name of, and they distinctly make a joke about how it's another Survivor song, but it's a lesser known one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
would that Stan would be like, "Yeah, I love this one. Where's this from? Where's this from again? I don't know."
Nobody knows. Fade to Black.
Yeah, nobody knows Fade to Black. But if you know, you
Who
know.
gives a shit? Yeah. Okay, now
Yes,
fade in on Tucker and Todd.
kind of.
Oh,
It fades to black, and then it stays black, and then like one by one, little starbursts start appearing on the screen, and then you've got like this hazy background start to fade in of the outside.
oh, that's
So
fun.
so it was the black the entire time.
Yeah, the black it faded to.
Yeah, so like little what look like stars and distant galaxies, they basically just kind of start blinking in like eyes opening. And then like slowly Tucker or Todd is going to like drift by kind of circling in space. He's like, I guess this is just me now.
Yeah, because we can have not just the stars like opacity fading into view, but literally the camera moving like floating past. So we can be moving through them, and then at a certain point, Tucker and Todd move into view as well.
Yeah, because in the outside, what look like stars really can just be like little motes of light floating in the air doing nothing.
Yeah,
So that we can move past them, we can move through them. Uh, Although some of those things in the distance, they probably are actual weird galaxies.
a stop sign floats by.
Yeah, but it says it probably says stop in another language, or maybe it says halt and it's like the wrong shape.
That's
So it's a stop sign from a different reality. That's what stop signs look like in that dimension. That's the only actual divergence.
that might be a fun joke to bring. It's like there's a reality in which stop signs look so much like a stop sign, but it doesn't look quite like a stop sign. And then there's another thing. Well, then what's that? It's this amorphous blob. We're with our tour guide from the outside, or whatever. That's also a stop sign.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're passing through the little neighborhood where all the stop signs from the various realities happen to just be.
Oh, we're in the stop sign galaxy, the stop sign quadrant, or whatever.
Yeah, I guess it would be like a no pass zone. The first one is just an uncanny valley stop sign.
Ooh, there is in the outside. There is the uncanny valley.
Oh, naturally, that. If anything, that should be one of the very few stable landmarks. We're now
I like
crossing the uncanny valley. Everything is just like a weird doll-faced monstrosity.
Here's the joke though. They're walking past it. There's some tourists. They're in like shorts, cargo shorts, and the whole thing. And they say, "Wow, it looks just like the real one." And the other guy says, "It's uncanny."
And then one of them gets eaten.
The other one disappears.
Yeah, just
Wings out of existence.
We're gonna be playing with all kinds of
I like that.
entry. We're gonna be playing with all kinds of entry and exit methods for like shitty one-liners.
And like, what are they called? I can't remember words right now. Subversions of exit and entry tropes.
Oh yeah. Uh, in fact, I think the guy who winds up getting eaten, in fact, like a weird kind of wormhole opens up, and a really big crazy straw comes out and sucks him up.
That's fun. I like that.
Yeah, just
Do you just see the straw, or you also see like a cosmically gigantic, like, fat ginger kid?
I think we're just gonna stick with the crazy straw, but enough of it comes through that there's a bunch of loops and you can see the guy go through all the loops. It's a transparent straw.
I'm so tickled by the straw in the sky. Oh, the transparent one is fun. You see Augustus Gloop inside the straw. But also, I like the idea of like seems like a Far Side comic. The straw comes out of the sky and goes into the ocean, and the ocean starts roiling, and you hear somebody say, "Tommy, stop blowing bubbles in the ocean."
Stop blowing bubbles in your drink.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Half the ocean's gone. This place is fucked.
Another one
And
I like when you said somebody. Now I'm wondering if it's something like a piano should fall out of the sky, but it doesn't kill anyone. It does get up and start chasing after them, though.
yeah, like that one in Mario 64 in the haunted mansion level. I still have nightmares about that piano trying to kill me.
Anything chasing you is scary.
Yeah, but nothing is scarier than that piano.
See, this is where I miss out on not having had a Nintendo 64
I
or
played,
friends with one. I don't know
I played
anything
that
about.
on my Nintendo DS too once upon a time.
Ooh.
But yes, you definitely get bum rushed by an enemy that was disguised as a piano. You basically get attacked by a mimic. I also definitely think that the piano needs to make like a really deep and lingering piano note once it lands on the ground, and that's how it growls. It just
Oh yeah, definitely.
is this the scene we're coming upon then? Like we're seeing weird stuff happening in the outside, just kind of like a theme establishing shot of crazy
I
weird
was
stuff.
I was thinking of, well, I think, well, as you said, it starts extremely calm, and I think there should be an extended period of calm a little bit. We established something kind of like hectic and crazy with the Rift events and what's going on with them. I like the idea because if we, especially if we have established like back, like going, we were forward in time, now we're back in time a little bit immediately after the event occurred or whatever. There should be a period of calm, and I don't know what state of mind Tucker and Todd are floating. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just kind of floating and like doing little barrel rolls. At first, they're just kind of surprised and stunned, but once they figure out that they can, do a couple of maneuvers, then they're doing barrel rolls on purpose. They
Yeah,
probably
because I was
start they probably start having fun right away.
so they are completely cognizant. They know that they were just sent there, but they're able to kind of like they're so zen that they can just enjoy the moment.
Well, first of all, they've been to the outside before,
True, true, true.
at least 3 times, but they've never quite floated through the emptiness of space before. But yeah, they're like, "Whoa, this is new." But they are cognizant of where they are. They have an idea. The outside is clearly the outside. But then
We
one
open
of
up
them
on
does a
you.
barrel roll.
I know. We open up on you, and you're the first one to speak, and you say, "Well, that."
Well, that seemed highly, and then I need to be interrupted by you coming through
Oh,
going, "Woo!"
yeah, I like that. Okay.
I think Todd would make a good like torpedo. So he goes zooming through the frame right in front of me. He's like, "Woo!" Well, and interrupting me, and I
Is it
get probably bumped out of the way.
Is it the trope of, as you were taking it serious, I'm having fun, do you continue to try to take it serious and you're like, "Hey, wait a second, we actually have to talk about what just happened," and I convince you to have fun, and even though it is a moment that we should both take seriously, you give in and we both just end up having fun?
I think that's the best course of action possible. This would be a rare serious Tucker moment.
And you're
Hey,
like,
hang on, we just got sucked through a hole, and now we're floating in what looks like outer space. Don't we should probably talk about this. Why would we talk about it when we could do this? And then you do like a cartwheel in the air.
"Yeah, when life hands you a pocket dimension, fuck around."
Well, not. I guess we don't have anywhere to be.
We don't know where to be.
Yeah, we don't know where we are. We don't know where we're going. I don't even know what time or day it is. I'm only vaguely aware of where I live or what my name is. So yeah.
I guess that could be part of like the pep talk or whatever you want to call it, the Zen speech of like, hey, listen, do you know where we are? Do you know where we're going? We got nothing to do, pal.
Do you know how to get out of here? Do you know what time it is?
Do you know which way is up?
I forgot which way it was up like 6 spins ago.
We start vomiting 2 hours
No,
later.
we start getting a little too into the barrel rolls and the cartwheels, and we make ourselves sick. And then we're just like trying desperately to stop.
At that point, should well, because you had said so. A choice is something bizarre and outside-ish floats into scene, or we float into its vicinity, or some sort of like I don't know flotilla. I love the idea of like Waterworld type thing, floating shanty towns, or like there was a book called I think they made a movie that was similar to it, but the idea of like a desert dystopia in which there are like rolling cities. Could there be some sort of like floating village that we come upon or comes upon us?
Well, I think we should eventually actually come upon the like the little town in the game. We should come upon Kansas.
Oh, okay, I like that.
But I don't think we should float right into Kansas. I think we should float for a little while and then gravity should activate and we should go plummeting to the ground and
Oh,
have
it
to
just
walk.
randomly activates.
Yeah. Whoops. Who turned the ground back on? And then we are going to have to like just start hoofing it in that direction. We have to walk. Well, which way do we go? I don't know. That way looks as good as any.
Does it? I'm trying to think. I'm staring at this dog transmorphing into bat eyeballs, and I'm trying to think about trippy acid trip stuff to do all the time. So like as we're floating, suddenly a single chain pull string appears in front of us. We don't see anything it's connected to. It's just the pull string, and so we pull on it, and that makes the ground suddenly appear beneath our feet.
Oh, interesting. We pull it and then it falls. Whatever was on the end of it, it's become untethered. It's just now it's a limp noodle rope. But as it falls, one of us keeps holding on to it and it drags us down.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
So we pull on it and we untether it. We untether anti-gravity. Whoops. And then yeah, it pulls us down to the ground like an anchor.
Oh, and when we hit ground, it is anchored to the ground. That's what it's attached to.
Yeah, it's now recombobulated.
It's attached to that, and it's got upside down gravity, so it's just like sticking straight up. And you reach out, or I don't know, one of us reach. Since you've been serious, I reach out to pull it, and you're like, "Do not pull that again.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to know what happens when you turn it off."
Yeah, I don't know if it's on or off, or if this is one of those weird lights that has a third setting.
It's got. I don't want it.
What happens if gravity is set to strobe?
No kidding.
We thought we were sick before. We no, leave it up, leave it. We have to go. Go where? And then I guess we're gonna have to look around. We're gonna have to do a little panoramic and see what's around us. It's probably like a weird pink moss forest with like a path through it.
Oh,
The way we go needs to be really clear, otherwise Tucker and Todd are gonna walk in circles.
well, it could be one of those things where it's like we have two or three options. One we have one option that looks like it's the what is it? Goldilocks options. So one looks awful and scary and evil, like blatantly, and then one looks normal, and then one looks pleasant, and we take one or two steps in the pleasant direction, and right as we take one step, something awful happens, and we walk in the exact opposite direction or whatever. Nope, not that way.
Oh, yeah, the that standard either two path or three paths choice. There's no signage or anything, but one path has like a rainbow and a like a smiling sun over it. The sun's got a face and it's smiling. It's happy, and it's just like a almost like a paved road. It's cobblestone, but it's nice. The hedges are trimmed. There are flowers, and then the other path is like into this really creepy looking forest with dead trees, and it's got lightning striking in the background. And yeah, we take a few too many steps in the direction of the happy one, and next thing you know, the sun is shooting laser beams out of its eyes at the ground right in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I like it if it is three paths. So we try to go the sunny way, and it immediately becomes evil. So we try to go the neutral way, and it blinks out of existence. So we have to go the bad way.
The neutral way blinks out of existence, just like psych.
Yeah.
I think as we approach the neutral one, the road that we're following should like roll back.
Oh, it curls up
Like,
like a tongue.
yeah, yeah, it curls up and it is a tongue, and it actually led to a mouth, and whatever it was, it gets up and leaves. It's like, I'm tired of being here. So it leaves, and now there's just like a void. And we're
I
like,
like that
okay,
it's like
go on.
it's a giant and it's like put off. It's like I was trying to sleep, and then he slinks off.
Yeah, and yeah, it leaves, and there's a void, and then we're like, all that's left is a scary option. Well, after the giant leaves, I think we should try the friendly route one more time. And I don't know. I don't know if the sun should shoot more laser beams or if some other silly thing should happen that's incredibly off-putting that sends us back in the direction of the scary path again.
I mean, it could be the thing where we were like, because the scary way looks so scary that we turn back towards the rainbow path, and the lasers start coming out, and it's a close up of us like wincing but trying to get as close to the lasers to see if we can tolerate it, to see if we can avoid the other path still. But no, it's too hot. We gotta go the other way.
Oh, we start getting closer and closer.
We're like
Ra-
screaming as our skin starts melting.
Rather than heat, it's like a weirdness beam.
Oh, we
and
start
and
abstracting.
like like the screen starts to ripple and change colors. It almost looks like an oil slick in a parking lot. It's just like
Oh
whoa,
yeah.
and we're just driven back because too weird. Fuck this, I'll take spooky over weird. Or maybe we should play it straight and it is just like a laser because everything in here already has the weird energy. What are you gonna do? Crank the weird up to 12 when it's already 11?
We'll figure it out. I was trying to think. Oh shit, it went away.
Uh oh.
Oh, I was gonna say the really awful path is a sign says this way Thailand.
We take one look at each other and hug each other and start doing the teeth chattering.
We refuse to go that way.
Not that way. We actually turn around and try to go back, but that way is actually not there anymore. It's a brick wall and it's like 99 miles high and wide. What? What? The rope is gone. We can't even turn off gravity.
I think, but then it ends up not being as bad as we thought, anyways.
Well, it's probably still going to be spooky, but like it's going to be like a jump scare game where we're going to be startled several times in quick succession and quickly become jaded to it and get bored as we start traveling along and stuff keeps jumping out going boo trying to jump scare us. We're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it works amazingly well at first. We get spooked right back out of the forest and we're like, we have to go. We have to try again. And then as we wander in, the same jump scare that terrorized us the first time comes out in exactly the same manner. And it probably spooks us a little bit, but we're like, yeah, okay. Loses some of its effect the second time. And then, yeah, it progressively becomes just dull. Now we're not even spooked, we're just bored.
Okay, so in I know it comes from other mythologies in like in Europe and such, but the word that I know for it comes from Harry Potter, and I think it's called a Grindylow or something like that. But it's like the creature that lures you into the woods by looking like a little old lady in distress, kind of thing.
Basically, a siren.
Yeah, like a siren, kind of like a siren. But I'm imagining this. This is. It appears as in the form of David Carradine calling to you, "Come save me, come help me."
It just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, but then if you approach
David,
it to come
no.
save its eyes rolls back and it becomes a mutant, awful, melty thing.
Oh yeah. It it it's it basically becomes one of the monsters from Beetlejuice. It just like horrifically elongates its face and its mouth opens up and its eyes come out of its mouth and it's like ah.
Yeah, it's got fangs protruding from its eye sockets.
Yeah, it basically just trades eyes for teeth. Not very effective, but really spooky looking. And then I guess that probably should spook us enough that we decide we're not going to walk through this forest anymore. We are now bolting at top speed, and we just kind of, what follows is a really quick duck and dodge montage.
We gotta book it.
We got to push it to the limit. And so we come out the other side. What do we find?
I mean, do we find Kansas?
Oh yeah, I suppose off in the distance we see some floating islands with what look like buildings on them. And what's that over there? Is that a shipwreck just on the ground?
Oh,
Half in the ground.
as we come out of whatever the zone was just slightly before, sorry for a detour diversion. As we come out of the woods, is it a field of poppies and we start getting sleepy and then one of us says no, we already did a Wizard of Oz episode, and then we say, and then I guess we would have to make a reference to then why is this place called Kansas?
I think we're in Kansas anymore. And somewhere in the background, little dog.
And your little dog too. Oh, Toto's Africa is playing. Toto.
Yeah. Till somebody reaches over and turns that boombox off.
Oh yeah, I guess another comment that will have to be made by one of the characters is how do we avoid the licensing for this episode?
By keeping everything under 3 seconds.
Oh yeah, I guess there's that.
Is that the rule? I forget how it works.
I think the rule is 8 seconds. It might have changed since the last time I knew, but my rule has just been turning everything into bad recorder music.
I think that's probably the best way to do it, especially in the outside where I bet there's mutated versions of music.
Ooh.
Like, why wouldn't sounds and entire songs get mutated there?
I like how in the Star Wars universe, music has evolved into basically like bossa nova.
I if we're talking about that in the hive of scum and villainy,
Yeah, the
that
Cantina
was
music.
that was the silliest like band I've ever seen.
Of all the things for music to become in a galaxy, well, I guess to have been in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago, it's a lounge act.
Yeah, and it's not even very good. But I guess that's what you should expect from music that is supposed to be completely cross species and cross cultural. Is it supposed if it's going to appeal to absolutely everybody, then it has to have absolutely nothing going for it.
I guess so. I mean, not to be an edgelord. I don't reason not even being an edgelord, but I guess it's proto edgelord. But that's I'm trying to make a sincere point. That's sort of what pop music is doing now.
That's sort of what pop music has always been doing, but it's gradually getting more and more that. And
Yeah, because
that's what films and television are doing a lot of too, is they're kind of just becoming,
congealing more global influence.
yeah, they're becoming more and more bland in order to broaden their appeal. So they're simplifying in order to cross all kinds of cultural boundaries and just kind of be universally understood by everybody. So they're becoming simpler and easier to grasp and lower concept.
And until one day it's one company selling one product.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's what music should be like in a scum of hive and villainy that every alien in the galaxy hangs out at. It's just everybody's music all at once, so it's just like one gray note.
I enjoy that. That's okay. Well, that is now what all the music is in this universe.
Bon.
It's just such a own. There's people at concerts and they're all like clapping.
Yeah, it's just like it's a few people gathered together. They're each playing a different instrument, but they all make pretty much the same sound. It's just in a slightly different tone. Bon. Yep, that's where music goes to die. Everything has become one feeling.
I like the idea. There's an EDM festival, and it's it's just an endless. Oh, what do they call it before the bass drops? Do they just call it a build up? I don't know. But the build up, just where the snare drum, not even the snare, the hi hat gets slightly faster. It gets their faster notes. It's getting constantly fast over, and then the bass never drops.
So it continually picks up speed until it becomes a single continuous note.
Just a chirp, yeah.
It goes brrrr,
Yeah. Okay, that's
and then yeah, the bass never drops. It just kind of does that until it's like a ringing in your ears.
everybody comes and goes home.
Yeah, It's the white note.
I
I mean,
appreciate
I
that.
mean, sweet release is kind of the ultimate objective of music and all kinds of artistic expression. So I imagine eventually that's all it's going to be. Is it's just going to be like, "Blah," and it activates that center of your brain eventually,
That
and
it is
then
the final form of music.
yeah, and of all art,
Yeah,
written stuff, painting,
I like this. Okay,
sculpture.
this is a premise. This I'm making this a premise where a world in which there is no more art except for just a single tone that makes people orgasm, and that's all that life is anymore.
I mean, to unleash that sublime ultimate feeling is kind of the entire ultimate overarching objective of artistic expression, to make you feel a thing. Well, this is the thing you're gonna feel. This is the thing to feel.
This is the a weird, bizarro version of the Wally reality in which people like are in these cradles that they don't. They're all big fat blobs with no bone density because they don't do anything. But this is a world in which people are just constantly ejaculating, and so they're all these like withered raisin people.
I think that they should the all of the muscle groups responsible for, you know, the orgasm, those should all be rock hard and chiseled, and then everything else is atrophied and never used.
Oh,
So
bizarre! They've
so
just got
yeah.
this weird dorsal fin of
Yeah.
muscle.
Everybody's got a perfect Adonis belt. All the muscles of their pelvis and their friggin' butt cheeks, they're all just like rock hard. Because everybody spends all day just like clenching in alternating rhythms.
This is
All it's
this
just
is
nonstop Kegels.
This is some of the hardest I've laughed at anything we mentioned about, but this is also one of the worst ideas that we've had.
I think I think that that is our future. It's not going to be augmented reality. It's not going to be virtual reality. It's going to be hooking an electrode up to our brain so that we have an orgasm button. Just make this reality tolerable by always always clenching your. And I think the way that should be activated should be through the future. Everything has come together into one bland flavor version of art, where sculpture, painting, writing, music, it's all actually like a single thing. So it's like a gray painted sculpted blob that makes music.
I love the idea that we walk into some sort of like auditorium or plaza or something like that where there's a large crowd gathered, and we're like, "What's going on here?" We hear a countdown of like, "Tut, tut, tut," and then the tone just goes beep, and as it goes beep, you just hear like the crowd yells, "Ugh!" Everybody comes all at once. It just cuts back to our faces. We're just staring in abject horror.
Well, yeah, because we hear it too, so it activates us. So you just see our horrible O faces for the entire duration of our collective climax. The screen, it zooms in on our faces, and we're just
Like, what the fuck was that?
it's a grimace and an O face at the same time. It's like it hurts. We
Oh,
weren't
like,
expecting it.
do these custodians come over to hand us our, like, what is it called? Like,
A,
complimentary change of
a
pants?
sanitary napkin.
Yeah, or whatever.
Everybody else in there is already wearing like special cum pants.
Peak society.
I mean, why? If you know exactly what you're there for, why would you soil your pants? You'd wear the special cum pants.
Well, there's that, Amazon show, I think it was Upload, and they have a VR reality for people to have their souls uploaded to after they die, and so they have if you want to have what are they called? Conjugal visits with your loved ones, you can get a haptic response suit.
I think we've already discussed this one,
This
downloading
video,
your
I've
soul.
mentioned it before, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that's exactly how Craig came to be at one point. One day we're gonna have to do an origin for him where he was still human.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I wonder if there could be a little teaser of that when we get to the manufacturer and they make a reference to, like, you wouldn't want to something something Ronald or whatever, and Craig is, like, visibly scared.
Poor Ronald. Okay, so uh peak society indeed.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay.
Hey, I know what a clip I'm making.
Yeah.
I turned Italian very briefly. I know what a clip I'm making this week.
Everybody's got their cum pants. It's like wearing a bib to lobster dinner.
Yeah, that's
It's
fine.
just everybody came prepared, except for us. So we're hooped. Anyway, I think we just walked out of the forest. You know, you're out of the woods. You're out of the woods. Step into the sun.
And I
No
mean,
more songs.
there could be a reference to that later, where like if some whatever the guide or whatever who if somebody happens to explain, oh, it's 12 o'clock, white note or whatever, we could have a reference later where one of us is trying to sneak away. We are looking at our watch, going like, I notice it's almost noon. We're trying to sneak away to the 12 o'clock white note.
Oh, yeah. It only catches us by surprise once. After that, we set our watches.
Yeah, we got somewhere to be.
Yeah, we wouldn't miss this for anything. Don't worry, we'll be back. This will only take 10 minutes. 5 if you're really eager.
If you're ready.
Yeah, if you're already halfway there, it'll go faster. But we climb out of the woods. Uh, maybe instead of a poppy field, we actually uh we walk a little too fast for the camera, and one of us walks into the stalk of a gargantuan single poppy flower,
Oh, okay.
and then we sidestep it and continue on tastefully.
Is it actually, do we realize that there's actually a huge row of poppy flowers, and they're like part of the infrastructure? These are like cable towers or whatever?
Oh, that would actually be really funny if they had cables running along them.
Yeah.
But on either end of the cable, there's like a paper cup.
Oh, that's funny.
So that's communication in the outside. We just and since it's in the outside, the message you transmit in one side of the paper cup is not necessarily the one that comes out on the other side. Because when the outside plays a game of telephone, it plays to win.
That's a whole fun idea. Are there like little like gnomes or something at the top of each stalk? They hear a message come through one cup and then they speak it into the next cup, and that's how messages get passed around.
Yeah, I don't see why not, and I definitely think gnomes should be responsible,
And they're all Peter Dinklage.
except one.
I mean, I would actually kind of like to, I guess, accept his challenge to try to make fantasy creatures that are something other than just small creatures. So are they gnomes, but they're something other than what you would typically imagine a gnome to be?
Well, I mean, Avengers already did that with dwarves that were like 20 feet tall.
I guess so.
Remember Eitrig? He bitch slapped Thor, just slapped him around.
I do.
Those were dwarves. I wonder what they would be if we were to do something like that. I mean, this can be a really gargantuan poppy plant, so the gnomes here can just be huge. Or maybe it's a bizarre perspective trick where as you get closer to them, they're actually small.
That's interesting. Oh, I like that a lot.
Because why should the outside respect your perspective?
It's yeah, it's the reverse. The closer you get to them, the smaller they get. That's cool.
Yeah, I played a game that was full of perspective tricks like that would totally screw with you all the time.
Is that liminal space or whatever it's called?
Yeah, but yeah, it's an instance of that. You get closer, it's actually not giant, even though the poppy is still huge. But the guy standing on it is now much smaller.
Or is this one of those cases of we get close to them and we're like, I hate this place.
Yeah, I think that would be a good point to say that. Just
What's
getting
wrong, friend?
just getting progressively confused as you get closer to this guy. First, he was towering over us like 10 seconds ago.
We keep calling out to him while he's towering over us, and we think that he's being rude, but it's just that he's not within earshot.
And then we get close enough and we're no longer craning our necks up at him. We're craning our necks down at him. How? Why? I hate this place.
Okay, I feel like we need to meet someone.
Didn't we just meet a gnome?
I guess so. Oh, well, I guess, yeah, the gnome he works for the telephone company.
Yeah, he probably puts one hand up with a finger out and he's like, hold on a minute. And then he transmits a message into the cup. And then we actually see like a bulge travel along the string,
Oh,
almost as
because
if
it's
the
kind of
message
message
is
the
now,
conduit.
yeah, the message has just become a physical object that is now being transmitted through the string.
I like that.
And then it comes out the other end and it practically punches the next gnome in the face.
Fart sound.
Yeah, it's like in cartoons where somebody's yelling into an old-fashioned phone and you see like the bottom component. It's just like a mouth now, and it's yelling.
And so, do we approach and we're like, "This is how you guys communicate," or are we interested in ourselves and we just want to know how to get some help?
What the hell are you doing? You are the first vaguely person thing we've seen. But in the distance we can see Kansas.
Right.
The message is on its way to Kansas. So we're gonna ask. We'll ask him what he's doing. He'll explain that he's operating the telephone. Duh, as if it should be obvious exactly what he's doing.
How else are people supposed to talk to each other?
Tourists.
Just incredulous, yeah.
And so we're like, all right, fine. We're just gonna go that way. I think we can start walking, and we'll actually be moving faster than one of the messages is being transmitted. So like the bulge that's creeping along the power line, we're gonna outpace it.
To rub in exactly how inefficient it is.
Yeah, like we'll prove the point that people can just deliver messages faster than whatever the hell this is. Nobody will have it. Nobody will listen. So I suppose since nobody will listen, we'll get tired of dealing with the gnomes, who are now basically just exchanging rude comments about us, and we're
I was
gonna
trying
keep.
to figure it out. Are they like speaking in riddles or something like that? Do we get sick of them and like give up and roll our eyes and move on?
Well, we walk faster than the thing moves, so we get to the other gnome before the message gets to the gnome, and we're like, "How did you guys do this? Like, why? People can move
Oh,
faster than your messages can." And they're like, "Don't be ridiculous, you rube."
they start bullying us.
Yeah, they talk to us like we're the idiots.
I like that.
So we're like, well, fine. I don't have to take this from. What are you anyway? What are you? That's how that exchange inevitably goes. So there's
Of
probably no point asking them.
Yeah, well, this sucks. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. That's our conclusion. This isn't fun anymore. We're leaving. So we just continue outpacing messages, and we follow the power line to Kansas. And then we walk into town, and there are people there, just like humans, recognizable
I guess
humans.
we could make the observation that hey, they're sending messages towards that town. I guess we may as well head there.
Yeah, we might as well beat the messages there by a couple of weeks, which means that whatever message that was being transmitted, probably about us, reaches town just as we're leaving later.
Oh, I like that.
And it
Look out
just,
for two outsiders.
yeah, a couple of chuckleheads coming through here trying to criticize our ways. By then we don't care. Or no, before that we had stopped caring, but then we care again because now we're mad.
The nerve.
Oh, the nerve. Okay, but we encounter people. We walk up. What was that? The first building on the left, was it a bank?
Yeah, so like I designed it after a bank, but I think it's in the game. It's going to end up being a town hall.
Okay, town hall. Town hall, good hub. So yeah, we encounter the town hall. There are people milling about, but as we approach, everybody files into the buildings. They're like,
Mm.
out of towners. We're getting in here. We're getting back in our houses.
Oh, they're shuttering themselves in their buildings. They're not filing into the building we're going into.
Yeah, they're just whatever building they happen to be closest to, they go inside and close the doors. It's like in Silent Hill when the siren starts going off and everybody scrambles into the church.
Right.
In fact, we probably walk into town, everybody scrambles away and close the doors. We start knocking, trying to get their attention. And then like after a few minutes of us already being there, then somebody rings the alarm. Something about this place is just dreadfully inefficient.
Oh, do we have that thing? So maybe when we did first land, when we landed on the ground, or maybe as we came out of it, at some point before getting here, with enough time having gone by, when we first started off, when we first found our new surroundings, we say, "Looks like we're not in Canvas anymore." Time goes by, we end up in this town, and they say, "Welcome to Canvas," and we kind of like nudge each other, and we're like, "Hey, we were just saying." Looks like, and then we get the guy interrupts us, like, "Please, if we could, just move."
Yeah. Could we move this along?
It's like Tony Hale in Community, the pottery teacher who doesn't want ghost scenes.
Yes.
The Kansas people don't want references to we're not in Canvas anymore. Oh, and then maybe at some other time we could we could come along another town who's like a competition, like on the other side of the tracks, other side of the hill kind of town. Uh, and when we get there, we ask them a question. They're like, "Listen, pal, you ain't in Kansas anymore."
Soon as we go past the town limits, somebody says that to us.
We're like,
There's
"Great,
just
thanks."
there's just some slack-jawed yokel out there waiting for people to come by so he can say that. You ain't in Kansas anymore. Yeah, no shit. That's what that sign says. Well, I can't read.
Yeah, he gets mad. He runs off screaming like curses on you.
Yeah, he's the one who's mad. Wasn't he just accosting us? I guess we just whatever. Let's get out of here.
I enjoy shit like that.
He flipped it around on us, and now I'm mad. But we encounter people. We do our hey, we're in Kansas. Once we finally get somebody to open the door for us, we're not monsters. We're clearly people, human people. Humans haven't had any new humans around here for a while. The blah 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 introductory conversation. They finally open the door and let us in, and then they say, "Welcome to Kansas." We get to do our little reference that gets immediately stomped on by this guy who's really tired of Kansas references. Where do we go once we make contact? We need to have some kind of a conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we gonna try to?
I guess we'll ask what everybody is doing here. Why are you here on these floaty islands? Like, why aren't you going back to wherever you came from? Back to wherever I came from? That's racist. We're the same species.
Yeah, because I guess do we need to establish that their town was originally a town from Earth?
Yeah, probably. But it's been here for a while. So
Yeah,
it's not like it's part of the recent shenanigans. It's been here a while. It got sucked in. We just
and
named it Kansas.
and we still have no idea that the events are going out back on Earth. So I guess like, what would our first? Are we trying to like ET phone home?
Yeah, probably. I mean, at first, hanging out in the outside was fun. By this point, we're probably pretty tired of this place and we want to go home. So we're happy to find people. People means community and community means communication. So we're like, does anybody have a phone? Not that phone. We don't want to use the gnome phone.
Oh yeah, somebody hands us a
A
little cup.
different, yeah, just a cup. No, not that phone. As soon as they hand it to us, the message comes out and hits us in the face. It's just like,
I mean, did they want anything from us before? Like, are we requesting help, and then they're going to send us on like a fetch quest or a solve our problem, clear
oh,
out the
yeah,
scavengers?
maybe they have an old fashioned CB radio, but it needs a new antenna. That's a
So we
perfect
need to
fetch
get rid of the
quest.
Mirelurk Queen.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go do a fetch quest. We're like, ah, fine. Do you guys have anything to eat?
There's a good chance.
Only green eggs and ham.
Oh, there's a good chance whatever this fetch quest is ends up being the fetch quest that's in the game for orienting to Kansas.
Oh, I like that. Okay, well, there's a CB radio that needs an antenna. That
And they
seems
know a
like
place
a
where
pretty good thing to get.
a military base appeared about 2 kilometers south of here. They might have an antenna kind of thing, like like not even a base, but a like a carrier ship or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, something that was going through the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, literally one of those. Yeah, the USS Mary, whatever.
Yeah. Bet bonus points if it was a real life ship.
I looked up a list of the ones to try to get inspiration for art from. So there were military like communication ships that have gone through.
Now, we kind of did already write up what that trio of fetch quests would be, but we can replace any of them if you like.
Well, we wrote up what the vendor fetch quest would be, I think.
Ah, well, I mean, if it's going to be a hub town, there's no limit to how many quests you can get from it.
Exactly.
But yeah, the vendor fetch quests, the 2 quests that yield absolutely nothing but shame and embarrassment, and then one that yields something awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. The actually, I suppose the antenna quest would not be an optional side quest. That would probably be a main story quest. You must do this in order to proceed.
Precisely.
So they have to go and find this ship that crashed the Bermuda Triangle. Scouts have reported sight of some kind of military ship, some kind of civilian ship, some kind of ship. It's got an antenna. Ships have antenna.
Oh, so for the record, what I have written here after the main story to head to Kansas, the first main story that you receive in Kansas is from Town Hall, which is to find the second NFT and then return, which will unlock the portal system. So that's very similar to it is a fetch quest. Go and rather than find an NFT, go and find an antenna. So I'm good with it.
Well, yeah, either you find the NFT during the quest, or the antenna once it's hooked up to the radio picks up like interference.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's detecting the NFT,
Yeah, that's good.
and it's over there.
Good idea.
And it sends you exactly right back where you were. And it's like, I can't believe you didn't find that when you were standing there already. It spawned it. I can't believe you didn't find that when you were here for an hour before. It's like a self-aware joke where it's like, you have to go kill 20 bears. What the fuck do you think I was just doing? I had to kill 30 bears to get here.
All I
Okay,
do
well,
is kill bears all day.
I didn't see it, so you gotta. The field is strewn with bear corpses. I have no idea where those came from. You get covered in bear asses and blood and fur. You got one stuck on your sword. What do you think I was just doing? I
This is
hate
bear
games that do that.
massacre. Yeah.
I hate it when games do that. They don't pay attention to what you've been doing.
And I like the difference. So I like game. Yeah, here's a classic example of like, bring me 8 bear teeth. Well, I have 300 bear teeth. Yeah, but you don't have these bear teeth.
Fuck you guys. That's when I put the controller down and I play a different game. But in this, if the game is like self-aware and like joking with you about it, ha ha ha, then it's deliberate.
Yeah, then it's like, okay, you're my friend and you're fucking with me.
Yeah, it's just kind of like an elbow nudge. Okay, so now we're leaving Kansas and we go past the town limit sign. We meet our slack-jawed yokel. We inadvertently insult him as he's trying to accost us. He runs back to town and we're like, whatever, move on in the direction of the ship. Now, is this a good opportunity to go back to material reality and see how the other crew are doing for a couple of minutes before the episode closes?
I was just about to ask you, do you see them staying separated from each other for a very long time?
Probably at least another episode.
Okay, because the possibility I was going to say right now is that I don't know how we're going to end up getting reunited, but I was thinking like, we're trying to call out to them on the radio, and as we're yelling on the radio, a rift opens up and their van drives through, and now they're in the outside, or the other way around. We show up where they are, but I don't know how fast and how much you want to rush us being paired up again, or put some more time
Oh,
to trying to get reunited.
oh, well, in this case, what I want to do is a travel montage. I want to do a travel montage where we're making our way towards this ship to get the antenna. So we'll have like a montage scene where we're just like walking through what should be a wheat field, but it's actually just like a whole bunch of octopus tentacles and they're all undulating and it's just like super gross and weird.
Okay,
And then the next scene is us running away from,
like a swarm of something.
yeah, like old fashioned HB pencils with like bat wings. They're trying to like poke us with the graphite tips. They're really sharp.
It's true. I
And
have
then
I
and
have
then
HP pencil tattoos from elementary school.
I knew a guy who got poked in the eye a little too hard with one of those
Ah.
once. Yeah, he had nasty eye drops for a couple of weeks. He had to wear an eye patch for a little bit of that too. And then a third montage scene should be us like sitting on a log trying to paddle our way across a river, but it needs to be like a spooky, weird, fucked up river. So maybe instead of water, it's like unfinished essay papers.
I was trying to figure out how to like completely reverse it, and it's like it's a river of something solid, and we're somehow paddling this liquid boat through it.
So the boat's made out of liquid and we're paddling it over like solid cement.
Yeah, we look at each other and shrug.
Yeah, I like that better. Just shrug. And then a fourth travel scene. There's a toll. We have to fill out a questionnaire. Good thing we kept one of those number 2 pencils.
Is the questionnaire all like extremely hot button questions?
Oh, they're like, how do you feel about Israel?
Yeah.
What? You can't ask me that. What is God? Ugh.
So, abortion?
That's
Abortion in Israel?
we just kind of like just cover my eyes and just quickly go through it, crumple it up, throw it at the guy, and run for it. Of course, it's a gnome, so he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna submit a complaint," and then he has to
Go
put it
ahead.
into a paper cup, and it just
We see a
slowly.
musket loading the complaint into the paper cup. Or what,
Yeah.
muzzle loading, you call that, yeah?
Yes. Yes. He muzzle loads a complaint into the paper cup, and it just starts traveling slowly. We're like, whatever.
Cool.
We're gonna get the antenna and get back to town before that thing gets anywhere. Okay, so we complete our travel montage, and then I think once we get all the way there, because like we're going left to right with every scene, and now we're gonna have a gamer moment, an old fashioned gamer moment, where the screen continues to go right a little bit, and then it's right in Kansas. It
Oh,
was
great.
right. It
And
was
then
right next to the ship. We took the long way.
it looped.
Yeah, like the old fashioned Mario. So we're like, oh man, I really don't look forward to the long walk back. And then Todd just points, look, Kansas. What? And the camera pans to the right, and there they are. Like shit. And so we are able to immediately and
Yeah.
and we start trying to yell through the CB radio. Can anyone hear us? Can anybody on Earth, our Earth, preferably our Earth, but any Earth will do. Anywhere is good that isn't here. And then we're gonna cut away to the van driving, and then static starts coming through the radio.
Ooh, perfect. Just static and then cut away. It's just a teaser cliffhanger.
Well, no, static starts coming through. Then it's like broken words, staticky words. Uh, Plato or Straight Woman immediately recognizes it as Tucker's voice, and it's like really choppy. Is anybody read us? Just like super choppy and staticky. And then Stan is like, "Ugh, what the hell is this?" And he turns the channel.
I like that, yeah.
This they pause, they stop my song. This is working, and he starts fiddling with the dials. It's an old fashioned radio where you got the twist dial
Yeah.
and it goes through the stations.
Small.
Yeah, yeah. And then he finds a tune that he likes, and he just starts bobbing his head. Everybody just kind of looks at him aghast, and he's bobbing his head. He doesn't care. It's Night of the Roxbury for him. What is
It's like
love?
a James Taylor song.
Yep. And then I suppose for a moment that would make everybody consider diverting from their course, but they turn Straight Woman, definitely Straight Woman, turns the radio back to the previous station, but it's just radio silence. And that's the really funny thing is we sent that a month ago.
Oh yeah, that's true. But
But that's that's the outside, baby.
yeah, there's no promises. Time of
But
working properly.
they know or at least they conclude we're alive and we're still out there, and they're like, we're gonna need Craig. So somebody puts the hammer down, and you hear the engine rev, and they just start going faster, and they're gonna drive off into the horizon, and that'll be the end.
Perfect.
Yes, I as soon as I realized that we were gonna send a transmission, I'm like, we need to get that antenna now. Actually, it can't wait till next episode.
And I think I have two different kinds of music playing in my head as the van disappears into the. See, now that the van, I'm thinking that the sunset is what's it called? Like vaporwave colors, and like the like the industrial the breakbeat comes on.
Yes, definitely. And I definitely want the vaporwave colors, but I think the sun as it sets should be the same face that was on the smiley sun on the happy path that we tried to go down, but it had laser eyes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because the world's mad. The world's gone mad. And the rules of the outside are now starting to influence the rules of reality. So why not? That's just like a little visual gag. And then they drive off onto the horizon. Everybody loves the driving off into the horizon ending.
The little dust cloud coming up. It's
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly. The dust cloud will actually kick up and then take up the entire screen, and then darken and darken and then black.
Beautiful. Well, that was like beautifully timed as well.
Yeah, and right at the end we managed to connect the two stories just right. So hooray! Even though I was super tired, that actually went pretty well.
That was extremely good. We talked wall to wall.
About the cum pants.
Cum pants. Yeah, that was a nice little pick me up. Wind gathering. Second. I don't
Yeah,
know. Wind.
that I gathered my wind. Yep. What? Didn't you guys bring your cum pants? My what? The cum pants. Everybody's got them. Look at these jokers. They didn't bring their cum pants.
But we very quickly become veterans. Like the next time, did you remember your cum pants? Do I look like a fool?
What do you take me for? I brought 2 pairs.
Backups.
Yeah, I got backup from my backup, just in case I get backed up.
Gross.
Very gross. But that was good. Thanks for listening, Craig. I hope you.
Thanks for listening, Craig. Thanks for listening, audience.
I hope you enjoy your new body.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to designing that now.
Yeah, I think Wally is a really good template. Of course, it'll be blockier and like more chunky, and he'll still have like a monitor for a face, because I really like that idea.
Is he still made out of cardboard?
I think he should probably be made out of like aircraft grade aluminum by now.
Okay, nice, cool. He's actual upgrade.
Yeah, but he probably like looks like he's riveted together from lots of scrap for like
I like
sheet metal for his exterior.
when we first meet him, it's gonna be I don't know what example to use. I was gonna say it's like when you meet your cousin for the first time after his voice drops,
No,
or
what somebody you haven't seen in 10 years.
meeting a crush who had a glow up.
Someone who was like a stick a decade ago, and now they're filled out.
Yeah, we're all intimidated by Craig.
Well, yeah, now he's taller than Tucker,
He's all sleek.
but he's still gonna look kind of like he was designed in on the Fury Road.
Of course. Yeah, a little
Yeah,
scrappy.
he's got like bolts and rivets and a couple of patches of different kind of shades of metal, but he's in top form. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning into our season premiere.
Yeah, it's been a treat. Please join us next time. For half a second, I had an impulse to start adding a bunch of follow us on social media crap. Make sure I'm not going to do any of that.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. That is it for this week on the Tucker Doo-doop. What's this thing in?
I was about to step on somebody else's toes, and I really shouldn't.
Okay.
I was about to do the Tobuscus thing. Do, subscribe.
Oh my God. Was Tobuscus Happy Wheels?
He did lots of Happy Wheels. He did lots of stuff.
I vaguely recognize that name. The internet is a vast place.
I watched him do an entire playthrough of Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Ooh.
It was not scary at all because it was Toby doing it.
He was being silly.
Yeah, the whole time.
That helps. Well, that is going to be enough from us, I think. That is just exactly enough.
Yes, precisely enough, and no more.
I was trying to remember what the slogan was that I was talking about. I don't know if it's good to put on a podcast or if it's just good to associate with topics.
I can't think of a good slogan.
I wish it was just clean and honest. I mean, we've been Tucker and Todd. This has been a podcast. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
As I now have to very slowly / command these two out of here.
They'll get over it.
I'm more of a grudge person myself.
Fuck Tucker. Tucker sucks. And fuck Tucker's friend, Todd.